as Al says, find something, folks. If you have an idea, give it a shot. Don't sit around and go, oh, well, it might not work, it might work. Well, right now, you're in a golden opportunity, in a golden place to make things happen. If you sit around and say, well, I could have done that, or, oh, yeah, I wish I would have, it's still not too late. But coming soon it will be, because all of these contracts are coming out. These big contractors are here, the Bechtel boys. I mean, I can remember as a kid driving a truck in San Francisco, delivering drawings to the Bechtel building, never thinking I would be sitting at the same table negotiating with these folks on large contracts. We are in a position now that I never dreamt I would ever be, especially on a little island like Guam. But again, I want to reiterate to the folks here at the panel, the folks in this room right now, I like to use a phrase, one team, no seam. And what I'm looking to do here is to work with the people of Guam as far as the environmental issues go, try to maintain our identity as a small island, but yet keep our tourism thriving, and at the same time be good partners with the military, because they're coming, folks, and there's, you know, I don't want to say there's not a lot we can do about it, but there's some things we can do about it. We can understand this EIS. Get to the shopping centers where they're going to be displayed. Read it. Get your opinions in. This is your opportunity to voice your opinion. If you sit on your fannies and don't do anything about it, then don't come back crying, well, they did this, they did that. Don't do that. Get out there, be vocal, get your opinions, let your legislators know, write your opinions. Now, did I answer your question, or did I just ramble?
You were fine.
Okay.
We can ramble some more afterwards, but
okay.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to address this question to Jerry. How can we ensure that the military buildup does not negatively affect other strong components that drive our economy, such as tourism, and certainly what kinds of policies ought we to consider to ensure that we don't eliminate the possibility of growth sectors such as agriculture?
Agriculture? Well, I mean, I can go on a different tangent, yeah.
Sorry, I could have tossed all of that in one question.
Okay, let me start first by saying that the military and the military buildup can be, like I said earlier, can be a compatible partner if, you know, managed correctly. The military buildup actually is a way to accelerate the physical and institutional improvement in our infrastructure, on the one hand, which benefits the tourism industry. On the other hand, that can also generate the income that can pay for the development and stewardship of our natural resources and our cultural and historic resources, which in turn provides the kind of amenities that make quality of life on Guam a good place to live in. Some of the policies specifically that actually we're very keen to explore is some zoning or regulatory mechanism that can mute the proliferation and offensive nature of a lot of the massage parlors and adult entertainment facilities in the center stage of our tourism industry, which we're promoting very heavily as a family-friendly destination. Not only that, but I said earlier about defining our brand image. We are trying to highlight the cultural, historic, and natural attributes of the island. And to the extent that that's allowed to proliferate and dominate the landscape down there, it diminishes our ability to articulate a unique local cultural experience. So I think some of the zoning and regulatory mechanisms that can help mute the proliferation of that is one issue. The second issue, as regards policy, as you mentioned earlier, is real reform in our educational system, because there isn't a day that goes by that the GPSS is not beaten to death for one thing or another. And a lot of it is really circumstantial. So there must be a way to really reform education in a meaningful way that can produce outcomes that not only develop the skill sets for different levels of employment, but also develop the community capacity to deal with the growth and to sustain the viability of not only the tourism industry, but the other sectors as well.
Okay, thank you. Now I turn to the two huge capacity builders. And a question that I wanted to pose to you may be somewhat controversial in your quarters, but certainly something that is very useful to know. With all this economic activity that's being built up as a result of the new industries that are being expanded, particularly with the airport authority, Carlos. What can we expect with regard to the reinvestment of surplus revenues, reinvestment into our island community with regard to supporting other economic foundations that related to health care, related to public safety, related to infrastructure development, and so forth?
Sure. I'll use this one because it's back. Well, first of all, we all realize, and I'm sure a lot, if not all, that we need partners. We can't do it alone, and so we certainly engage definitely the private sector. And in the private sector, we look at different kinds of companies. There are companies that you're going to have to deal with and partner up from elsewhere, such as the airlines, for example. But there are companies that are really local and have the capacity, have the resources, and we've engaged them actually to build air cargo facilities at the airport. And in that sense, it really creates a lot of local investment in itself, more opportunities for employment, and all the spillover knockoff effect will just benefit the entire community. People will generate more disposable income. People can afford things along health care, medical insurance, that type of things. And I think that's where we believe the airport can continue to contribute to the economy of the island. In 2006, we've engaged an independent firm to kind of give us an idea how does the airport play and what kind of role does it play here in Guam. And in that study, it actually identified that as a result of an airport operating, engaging all the different activities up there, it actually generated $1.7 billion of economic benefits to the island. And in all different forms, from indirect to direct contributions and inducements. And it actually has generated about 3,000 to 4,000 employment up at the airport alone. So really, it's a very important component of the community, very important component of the economy of the island. And so it transcends our commitment to continue to make aviation grow, make it self-sustaining, and make everything affordable, the lowest possible cost that we could charge our partners. And certainly we expect that same rate, at the lowest possible cost, be extended down to every person that live here on the island. And that's kind of like what our vision is and our expectation. We've been very fortunate at the airport, really, because we have folks that have really understand the business, understand the dynamics of it, and understand what the goals that we're trying to get to. And so we have great board members that are very supportive. We have employees that understand the business and help me do a lot of the work. And so we're very fortunate in that respect. A lot of these things, though, we need to reach out to other areas. One of our very important partners is the Guam Visitors Bureau under the leadership of Jerry. We certainly work together to make a lot of things happen. You can have all the planes you want, but if you don't have the demand out there, the planes ain't going to fly to Guam. And so we really try to coordinate our resources, our strategies, and make sure we're spending the money in the most cost-effective way to bring a body and many more bodies and more people to Guam, because what they spend is really what's good for the people to take care of a lot of costly things such as healthcare costs.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing that, and also to speak to the multiplier effect that effects rather that help feed into the rest of our community. Now, this question to Glenn.